Look, if I had a dollar for every single time I started something and didn't finish it, well, I'd probably be a rich man by now. However, as we know, that's not the case. We don't get a dollar for every time we don't do something or do something. However, I can come here and make this video for you guys and kind of talk about why we do some of these things and what leads to these things and ways that I've found to kind of counteract this behavior. Recently, I've been kind of going on this journey. I've been working on self-discipline, my mental health, body health, and I've been trying to read a lot and really get in tune with myself and progress as a human. And I kind of want to make this video to kind of share that journey and share some of the steps that I've been taking to really hone in and get down with it. Here's some of my personal experiences that I've had issues with starting something and not fully seeing it through. I've definitely had this issue with music, YouTube videos, going to the gym, art, creating a routine, and just overall ambitions. I definitely find myself starting these things and then overwhelming myself, burning myself out, or other various things. Some of the causes that end up leading to failure on these are going to be burnout. I would say that that's probably the number one thing. And that's, you get started with something, you go so hard doing it, you do it for so long, and you're doing it day after day after day, and you're not immediately seeing the results that you want to see. And in turn, that causes burnout. I mean, that's a very normal thing to have happen. I have felt burnout hundreds of times on various different things, and I would say that that is the number one thing that plagues most people. Number two is one that I really had to take a look in the mirror and kind of, beat myself up about a little bit, and that's lacking self-discipline. Not having self-discipline can completely destroy a lot of avenues in life. It can make it to where you're not doing things that you know that you should because you lack that self-discipline. You're not getting up in the morning and getting after it. You're not doing the best that you can at every single thing, It doesn't mean that you have to go so hard all the time, It just means you do what you know is right. You take those steps, you do the thing, and you get it done. You don't put it off, you don't procrastinate. You have discipline. You go to the gym. You wake up when you say you're going to wake up. You eat healthy because you know that that's right for the body. You don't choose to stay out late knowing you got to get up early in the morning. You don't consume a shit ton of alcohol. All right, you have self-discipline. Lack of inspiration. Now, this is one that I have suffered from as an artistic person. I think anybody that has any type of creativity or artistic view or mindset definitely feels. And, lack of inspiration, that's a hard one because once you're feeling that way, sometimes it takes a little bit to get inspired. Some of the things that I kind of like to do is take a walk outside, sit out in the sun. If it's raining, sit under some cover and listen to the rain, watch the rain, read a book, find something that inspires you, listen to some good music. That always helps me. Too much free time, aka laziness. Now, this is one that is, debatable because a lot of free time, if you use it right, could be a great thing. You could get a lot done with that free time or that extra time that you have. But most of the time, I know in my own experiences, it ends up leading to laziness. And if I have too much free time, then I just end up sitting on my butt. And I've definitely been actively working on that by doing all sorts of things to fill up that time, whether it's try and be more creative, be more disciplined, go to the gym, cook dinner for the whole week, maybe even prepare breakfast for the next morning, get laundry done and fold it up and completely put out of the way. So then I don't even have to worry about it. But that's definitely one that it's hard because free time can be really good if utilized right, or it could be really bad if you just end up sitting on your ass all day. Now, why do we quit before we even see progress? Over 90% of people give up on tasks or goals that they set before they even see the results. 25% of people give up within week one. Now, I've definitely been in that boat before, and I've started something and I've gave up before even seeing results. I've done it countless times. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm sure that you guys have done it. I'm sure people have done it. It's a very normal thing to do. But join me in trying to not do that. Let's start getting these goals knocked out. Let's start getting that 1% better every single day for the entire year. And then by the end of the year, we can look back and be like, you know what? We've done something. We've made a difference in our lives. We've done this. We've done that. We've conquered. We've done everything we can. And we're a better person because of it. Most quit right before seeing success. Now, this is unfortunate. This kind of reminds me of, this isn't such a good good analogy, but the meme of the guy with the pickaxe mining towards the diamonds, and then he turns around. I'll flash it up on the screen. You guys know exactly which one I'm talking about. It's kind of what it reminds me of, but it's true. I mean, a lot of people end up giving up. A personal story of mine would be, I used to make guitar content on TikTok quite frequently, and I started getting pretty good views. Like, I had a couple videos that were, I had one that was over 100,000 and one that was creeping up on 100,000. And then what did I do? I just quit making videos. And I've always kind of been like, why did I do that? But you can't sit there and play the blame game. You just got to get back up and get after it. There's no better time than the present. Yesterday doesn't exist anymore. Tomorrow, that's the future. We're living now. Most people lack true discipline. Now, this one is something that I have had to face. Like I said previously, this is something I had to sit down, look myself in the mirror and be like, buddy, what's going on? This causes loss in interest towards goals, a lack of care when results are not immediate. Without self-discipline, you cannot be who you want to become. Now, that is extremely true. If you're lacking self-discipline, nobody else is going to take you to where you want to be. It all starts in here. It starts with you. It starts with me. You know, you got to take those steps yourself. Nobody's going to be there to guide you. Nobody's going to be there to hold your hand. Now, there may be videos like this or even better videos than this one. This one's, you know, probably not the best of all time. There's probably many other videos out there that are way better to watch than this one. But videos like these, you know, they've helped me. That's why I'm wanting to make them. I'm wanting to amp people up. I'm wanting to get people hyped. People rely too heavily on their own willpower. Now, this is one that I don't think people think a lot of. And that's that people set these sky-high expectations and only rely on themselves. And that can be challenging. And though it is all up to ourselves, we got to like put those in stone. We got to write them down. We got to map out what we want to do and not just rely on keeping it all in here and getting it out there. We got to, you know, spread it out. We got to write down our goals. We got to actually keep track of what we're doing, make time frames for what we want to do, and not unrealistic time frames. We don't want to put something, we don't want to try and lose 100 pounds in 1 week or try and get ripped in 1 week, okay? We want to move slow at these things. We want to give ourselves ample amount of time so then that way we don't get burnt out or we don't get sick and tired of it. We don't lose inspiration. We're doing it at a steady pace. All right, we're getting it done. Lacking self-belief and caring too much about what other people think. Now, this is one that unfortunately a lot of people suffer from, and that's that they don't believe in themselves. And if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect others to believe in you? Or how do you expect to move forward, move that needle a little bit over, a little bit more every single day? It's not gonna happen if you don't believe in yourself. You gotta believe in you. At the end of the day, your opinion's the only opinion that matters. Your opinion's the only one that you're gonna think of when you wake up. Your opinion's the only one that you're really gonna be thinking of when you're going to bed, all right? Your opinion on yourself, that's all that matters. Now, letting other people's opinions influence you can have an extremely negative outcome. I just got through listening to the audiobook version of Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it kind of talks about this, and it really resonated with me, and that's lying to yourself too many times, over 1,000 days, lying to yourself, telling yourself that you're gonna do this or do that, and then you don't. It's kind of hard to combat that, but if you do it, if you make positive routines and positive habits that you do daily, that's eventually going to overshadow all those negative ones. And the more that we build up these positive habits and continue and move that ball forward 1% every day, it's going to grow like a snowball. And eventually, you're going to be nothing but good habits. You're going to be rocking and rolling. You're going to feel good every single day when you wake up, when you go to bed. Trust me, it's well worth it. Letting other people's opinions influence you in a negative manner. Now, this is one that a lot of people face, and that's, you know, we care too much about what other people think. We don't think for ourselves. We let other people's influences infiltrate our lives, and we give them too much validation for opinions that shouldn't matter. Like, I'm sure that if some people saw these videos that I'm making, they'd think, oh, this is corny. This is bull crap. This is whatever. But guess what? I don't really care. I'm having a good time making them, and I know why I'm making these videos. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I'm happy with it. Let's keep it going. Now, that isn't to say that if you're doing something stupid and somebody is like, hey, dude, you need to slow down, that you just go, fuck you, and don't do it. Nah, that's not what I'm saying at all. You got to understand that sometimes people are going to come in with opinions that are definitely worth listening to, and that's 100% acceptable. But, you know, if someone's bringing you down or dragging you down for this or for that, and it's just to hate, then fuck them. Now, first things first, before we even get into some solutions, we got to get rid of distractions. The phone is the biggest one. Being on your phone all day, you're going to be lacking attention. If you're just sitting there mindlessly scrolling all day long, you're not going to connect with people. Your attention span is going to be shortened by watching short form content all day, or just swiping, scrolling, and seeing a million things that you don't really care about. Sure, you may see something here and there, but you know, if you're not sitting down and actually watching like a full long form content on something that you actually like, you're just wasting time. I mean, I've been trying to really reel that in and not get lost on my phone, but instead sit down and watch something that I actually care about, something that I'm passionate about, something to learn from, or this or that. Video games. I love video games as much as the next guy. I grew up playing them. I still play them to this day, but I've had to really dial this one back. Now, this is something that was kind of hard to even come to the conclusion of, but truly, they are a waste of time at the end of the day. I mean, they are fun. Don't get me wrong. I love playing them still. But if I sit down and I play video games for 4 hours, in the back of my mind, I know that there's something that I still got to get done, or there's something that I need to do that I'm putting off in order to play games. And to me, that's not worth it. I would way rather make the progression in my life that I want to make instead of making progression on a game that really has nothing to do with this real life that we live. Porn. This is a bad one. Waste of energy, waste of feelings, waste of time. Need I say more? Gambling. Mentally draining and a waste of money. Now, this is a habit that I have unfortunately had in the past. And same as the last one, honestly. I'll be real. But gambling really had like a chokehold on me. And that was sports gambling for the most part. I'd do it every single day. I'd wake up and I'd be like mindlessly scrolling, looking for stats on players that I didn't give a fuck about. I didn't even know who they were. I'd be watching games for hours that I didn't give a shit about. I didn't even care about the sport, to be honest. I was just watching, hoping my freaking parlay would hit. And man, that is something that I've tried to express to my friends. It is not worth it. Don't fall into the trap of sports betting. Sure, you may win occasionally, but it is just not worth it. Partying. Dude, partying's okay occasionally. Go out, have fun with your friends, your family. Do this, do that. But if you're doing it every single weekend and you're wasting those days off that you have, and you're waking up tired, you're waking up hungover, and you're just spending the entire weekend because you chose to go out until 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night when you're already tired from work, it's time to get a grip. Let's use the weekend to get better. Let's use the weekend to move the needle, get something started, get a little mojo going. Constantly consuming and not creating. This is a big one. This is one that I wholeheartedly support. If you're just constantly trying to find inspiration by constantly soaking in content, but you're never actually sitting down to make the content that you want to make, then that's also an issue. You got to eventually cut that. You got to cut that cord, the content tube. You got to slice it in half. You got to sit down and actually do it. I don't care if the video is terrible. I don't care if you're like, this is awful. I feel so uncomfortable making this video. You just got to do it. You just got to sit down and do it. All right? Do it. Just do it. Shia LaBeouf. I remember when that video was like super cringe, but now it's like, you know, now I see what he meant. I see the vision. Make solutions, not excuses. Here are some things that I have personally been doing to take these steps, these leaps in the right direction, okay? Journaling. It's going to keep your thoughts clear and streamlined. I love journaling. I try and do it in the morning and at night. There are definitely days that I miss journaling. Like, I don't do it for one reason or the other. Or I don't do it in the morning, or I don't do it at night. But every single day that I do it, man, it makes such a big difference. And like, you wouldn't think it would, but sitting down and just getting those thoughts out of your mind, they truly help. They truly help. I want you to try and start doing it. Not try, actually. I want you to start doing it. Creating healthy goals. This kind of goes hand in hand with journaling. Stacking wins throughout the day and building momentum and keeping track of it in that journal. You can look back on that and you can see what you've been doing to progress and get better and better each day. And that's going to help you every single day that you get started. You're going to look at that journal and you're going to be like, damn, I want to do better than I did yesterday. I want to do more than I did yesterday. I am that guy. Eating healthy, this one is a no-brainer. Eating healthy truly, truly helps. If you're eating healthy every day, you're going to feel so much better. I've completely tried to cut out candy for the most part. You know, I may still have my sweet occasionally or my crumble cookie. I love those things. They're really good. However, like super heavily processed candies and like nasty stuff like that, I've tried to do away with, instead replacing it with like yogurt bowls or fruit or whatever. Stuff like that. Man, I'm getting the hiccups kind of. You know, it's going to cut out guilt and sickness from eating poorly as well, which I think that those are two of the biggest things. Working out, man, I am so happy that I've really started to actually like work out every day. I'm on a 2-week roll. I only missed the other day because I was really, really sick. Like I was getting the chills, and the previous day I had worked out really, really hard. So that was kind of a guilt-free one. I needed to take that day and recover. My body was telling me, please. My mind was telling me, please. I was sick, sicker than a dog. But working out, you're going to feel so much more confident once you get that body that you're going after, that you want to do. And once you start seeing some results, it may take a little bit, but once you do, you're going to be hyped. You're going to be like, this is exactly why I'm doing this. And don't give up then. That's only the time to keep going harder and harder and harder and harder. Reading. Man, I love reading. And I have my girlfriend to thank for really getting me into reading. It's one of those things that you can take, 10 minutes out of your day, 5 minutes even. I mean, hell, a minute out of your day, if not more. You can take an hour or two out of your day and read. You're going to get into the right headspace. It's going to clear up your thought process. It's going to make your imagination more. Hell, you might even find inspiration in a book. Or, if you're reading something like a self-development book, that's really going to get the cogs turning, and you're going to find stuff in there that you're not going to find just wandering around. I mean, you might, but in a book, it definitely comes to you a lot quicker, and it's like it's thrown at your head. It's like, you get it. You just get it. Pops into your head, and it's stuck there. I found myself more and more recently, after reading a lot more books and listening to audiobooks even, that's another good route to go. I have these like sentences or things stuck in my head, and it really gets the cogs turning, and then I remember it and I apply that to my life. Sitting with your thoughts. Now this is a huge one. Sit alone, no distractions outside. Breathe in and just listen to the sounds around you. Listen to the birds chirping, fluttering away. Listen to the wind blowing through the trees. Look at the trees. That kind of sounds hippy dippy, but seriously, like, genuinely sit outside, just like process things. Go through the motions. Think about, what am I doing right? And give yourself a pat on the back for that. But also at the same time, think about, what can I be doing better and what am I doing wrong? And if you need to, if all that you're thinking is, man, I need to start doing better, I need to start doing this and that, start there. Start with sitting with your thoughts and just gather that all there. And don't get down on yourself, but build a plan to start moving in the right direction. That's all that this video is about, is just moving in the right direction. Getting going with something that, it's hard to start sometimes, but we all got to start somewhere. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. Have a good one. Peace.